Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video on the Gooners and Gloves Podcast channel. In today's video, it's going to be the 113th Gooners and Gloves Podcast, and I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts and reactions to Arsenal's game versus Manchester City at the Emirates Stadium. I just got finished watching it, so as always, I'm just going to give you guys my thoughts and reactions on the performance, how the team did, what I thought of the game, and ultimately just how I'm feeling. So yeah, unfortunately a draw. The truth is I'm still disappointed. Obviously, end of the day, I am happy that we managed to rescue something, of course, because at the end of the day, in a game like this, ultimately your main goal is to rescue anything that you can. But the truth is I am disappointed. End of the day, I really felt this game was winnable. I felt like we really could have won this game, and unfortunately, we gave away a really sloppy goal, and unfortunately it took us so long to equalize. Obviously I am happy that we equalized, don't get me wrong. End of the day, a draw is better than a loss, and ultimately we at least managed to shrink the gap slightly, so obviously that is something positive. But of course, I really do feel that this game was winnable. I think we had good chances, and I think ultimately we definitely could have won this game, but unfortunately it was a draw. Obviously happy that we managed to rescue something, but of course not happy that it's a draw, because ultimately I'm never going to be happy with a draw, especially at home. But pretty much, let's go on and get into the game. So unfortunately a really sloppy goal that we gave away. Obviously fair play to Haaland, he's in absolutely ridiculous form right now. Obviously Erling Haaland, I mean, yeah, he's in insane form, he's doing really well, and unfortunately he did manage to carry that form across to this game. Really nicely taken finish. Obviously Reinders with a good ball to Haaland, and honestly the defending for this goal was just so sloppy. Gabriel just could not catch up to Haaland. Saliba just didn't look on it for that goal, and unfortunately Haaland managed to get the finish. And obviously it was just not a good start. Obviously they scored in the first 9 minutes, and it's never good to concede that early. We saw, for example, in the first leg of the PSG semi-final, which of course also had Donnarumma, but we saw in the first leg of the PSG semi-final, PSG scored early and it just completely threw us off. And to be honest, that's what happened in this game as well. City managed to get the early goal through Erling Haaland, and I think we were just immediately thrown off our game. So yeah, because truth be told, City didn't have too many more chances after that goal. I honestly felt like that goal was kind of their only big chance. Obviously they had a couple of other small opportunities which we managed to get away. To be fair, there was one good shot from Haaland after that which Raya saved, but for the most part I think they didn't actually have that many more chances after that goal. But I just think obviously you've got to, end of the day, it's 90 minutes, you got to concentrate for the whole 90 minutes, and unfortunately we gave City that moment. And to be fair to Haaland, took the finish really nicely, and I got to give him credit. Reinders as well, to be fair to him, really good run, really good ball. So I'm not saying it wasn't a good goal from City, but I am saying that it was sloppy defending from us, and that definitely we could have defended it better. But anyway, the game progressed, and from this point on it was just clear that we were a bit deflated. The team just didn't look very happy. To be fair, Noni Madueke was causing some problems down that right hand side, and to be fair, him being subbed off you could argue was slightly harsh, but ultimately that's obviously was Arteta's decision. But to be fair, Madueke had a pretty good first half. He was creating some opportunities, putting in some good corners. He was definitely looking lively down that right hand side. He also had a really good shot in the first half which was saved by Donnarumma, and to be fair to Donnarumma, he did have a good game today, made some good saves as well. He just seems to love making good saves against Arsenal. I don't know what it is. Of course, you cast your mind back to the semi-final, both legs of the semi-final against PSG, made ridiculous saves in that game, and he made some good ones in today's game as well. But yeah, it was just it was a difficult first half, and I've got to be honest, it wasn't a good first half from us, just going to be real. It was a really poor first half. Definitely the first half was some of the worst football that we've played this season. We looked really lethargic, we were giving the ball away a lot, we weren't really looking very coordinated, the chemistry just wasn't there. So I think it was a really tough first half for Arsenal. And so that was it. I mean, to be honest, there's just not much to say about the first half. The only thing of note that happened was obviously the goal from Haaland, but outside of that, only a couple of chances for Arsenal, but really just a very boring first half, and unfortunately a really poor first half from Arsenal. So we came on in the second half and we made a couple of changes. Eze came on for Marino, and Saka came on for Madueke. By the way, great to see Saka back. That's definitely a positive of today's game. Fantastic to see Bukayo Saka back from injury, and of course he wasn't fully on it today because he's still recovering, but to be fair, had a couple of good moments, and definitely is slowly but surely hopefully can slowly but surely get back to his best. And of course now we do have Noni Madueke, who's playing really well, who of course can cover for Saka while Saka builds back up his full fitness. But yeah, so those were the two substitutions, Saka and Eze coming on, and immediately that was good to see from Arteta. It was good to see Arteta just putting on two creative attacking players and basically just making attacking substitutions, and that is something I was happy with Arteta for today. He was finally making attacking substitutions. He wasn't just subbing on fullbacks and CDMs. No, he was subbing on attackers. we saw Eze come in, we saw Saka come in, Nwaneri, Martinelli. It was really, really good to actually see attackers coming on, and that was definitely something I liked. Like, I liked actually seeing, attacking players coming on and even defenders coming off. For example, Timber came off, Martin Zubimendi came off. Like, it was good to see defensive players coming off and attacking players coming on. It definitely felt like Arteta actually was going for it today, and that's definitely obviously really good. So as the second half progressed, to be fair, I think we massively improved in the second half. I think we looked much better, especially in that first 10 minutes. I think we looked really, really threatening. Saka had a good chance. I think it was Calafiori, Gyökeres, there were some good chances there. So I do think the second half we improved a lot in terms of the attack. We were starting to put things together, but unfortunately, as the timer kept ticking down, we just weren't getting any goals. We weren't getting any sort of returns. So as much as we were playing better and creating opportunities, the time just kept ticking down and down and down. Oh, sorry, up and up and up and up, closer to the 90th minute, and it just wasn't seeming like we were going to manage to get anything. Finally, Mikel Arteta decided to put on Gabriel Martinelli. It's something I had actually been saying to myself for probably a good 10 minutes prior to that point. Why isn't Martinelli coming on? We need to be putting on Martinelli. Finally, he put on Martinelli, which was good to see. Martinelli came on, Trossard came off, and of course Martinelli managed to rescue us a point. A really, really nice finish. So on a good counter attack, Eberechi Eze with a good ball to Martinelli, and Martinelli beautifully dinks it over Donnarumma. Beautiful finish, and obviously really, really good to see Martinelli getting a goal, and just super happy for Martinelli. Of course, there's been so many Martinelli haters recently, but this is now the second game in a row that Martinelli has managed to save us. Obviously, instant impact against Bilbao, where he managed to score, and of course today, instant impact, he managed to rescue us a draw. A really nice finish, and again, obviously I'm not happy about the fact that we drew. Like, I would of course have rather we won, but end of the day, a draw is better than a loss, and I'm glad that Martinelli was able to come on, get a beautiful finish, and rescue us a point. This also means we actually remain unbeaten against Man City. We're now, I think, 5 games in a row unbeaten against City, which is of course really, really good, especially because these guys literally used to rip us apart constantly. Obviously at one point we went 12 games without beating them, so obviously the fact that we've now managed to go 5 games unbeaten against them in the league and just in general is really, really good stuff. So yeah, obviously not a result I'm happy about, but at the same time, given the context, the fact that we were down for so long, and obviously the fact that we pushed so hard, I'm glad that we were able to get something from this game. And again, I think that's a credit to the depth that Arteta had. Obviously, while being down, he was able to put on the likes of Nwaneri and Martinelli and Eze, Saka, etc. So I think the depth is definitely there, and I think it's really starting to pay off, and it definitely paid off today. Unfortunately, though, we weren't able to find a breakthrough for the second goal. There was one really good counter-attacking opportunity, but we just couldn't quite get to the ball. But yeah, all in all, definitely a result that I'm, not happy about. I am disappointed, but at the same time, happy to have at least gotten a result out of it ultimately in these sorts of games when you're that close. I mean, literally, we scored our equaliser in the 93rd minute. So, at that point, there were only about 4 minutes to go in the game. And when you're at that point in the game, you just want to get anything you can out of it. And I'm glad that we managed to get something. So, still 5 points behind Liverpool. So, it's not ideal by any means. But the good thing is, after Newcastle this upcoming weekend, we do actually have a very good fixture run. Whereas, of course, Liverpool do now go into some tough fixtures. I think 3 of their next 4 are really tough away games, and I think even 4 of their next 6. So definitely some tough fixtures coming up for Liverpool. And of course, outside of Newcastle away, we have a very good fixture run starting in game week 7. So that's definitely something good. So obviously not ideal to be 5 points behind this early on. Like, I'm definitely not happy about the fact that we are, but ultimately it's not unrecoverable. We can certainly still do something, and we've got to just push for it now. We've got to do our best. But the good thing is we've got a good fixture run coming up. And of course, it's nice to have gotten some really tough games out the way early. It's nice to have gotten out of the way one of the City games. Well, obviously one of the United games, the Liverpool game. It's nice to get these games out the way. Obviously, we're getting Newcastle, we're getting St. James's Park out the way next week. So it's good to get these games out the way and to, basically it's just nice. It's nice to get them out the way. Obviously, you want to win them, but I'm just glad we managed to get something out of it. But yeah, fair play to City. They defended really well. But ultimately, I'm glad that we managed to push through and get something. So obviously now we've got Port Vale coming up next week, so hopefully we'll get some good rotation for that game. I'd imagine that a lot of the players today probably won't even play in that game, will probably just be on the bench. But yeah, and then of course a really tough game against Newcastle next week. Obviously Newcastle have been looking really, really good defensively, and we know how much we struggle at St. James's Park, so that's obviously a huge game next week. So yeah, we've got that one to look forward to. But that's going to go and do it for this podcast. So all in all, a goal from Haaland, a goal from Martinelli, assist from Reinders and Eze. A game in which City scored, they parked the bus, they defended really, really well, but thankfully Arsenal were able to make a breakthrough with a really good goal from Gabriel Martinelli and ultimately rescue a point, which isn't ideal. Liverpool are the unfortunate winners of today's game, but it's something. Obviously it's better than a loss, and I'm glad we managed to rescue something. So yeah, in terms of the defense, obviously, I mean, end of the day, that goal was literally basically the only big chance City really had was kind of just that goal. So obviously defense was still really good today, with the exception of that one moment. So yeah, but that's going to go and do it for this podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please let me know down below what you thought of the game, what you thought of the performance, how are you feeling, etc. How are you feeling for Arsenal's league title chances? And yeah, I'll catch you guys next week with another video. I probably won't make a full podcast about the Port Vale game, but I'll still try and I'll still try and get a short out. And then of course we have a big game against Newcastle. So I'll catch you guys for all that content. But thank you guys so much for listening. Have a great day. Please let me know down below what you thought of the City game, and I'll catch you guys with another podcast soon. Bye bye.